Hi guys, welcome back to our product spotlights. I'm really pleased to present today to you the P-40 Classic Generation 2. Let's start with the materials. Materials of the P-40 Classic are very similar to what we were using before already in the first generation. You have a Ripstop polyester cotton fabric, 67% polyester, 33% cotton. And that is combined with a stretch fabric. Now, regarding the stretch fabric, there is a couple of things which are really important. First of all, why do we have a stretch fabric and why are not the whole pants made out of a elastic or a stretchy fabric? The stretch is incorporated in the P-40 pants, and by the way, in all the 𝗪𝗡 pants, in areas which during the movement are expanding. So the body is not expanding during movement in all areas. It's a couple of critical areas where there is up to 40–50% of expansion of the body, and the only way how you could support your body's movement is with a stretch. You can play around with the cut of the pants, but it's crucial to have a material which offers you also that level of stretch. The critical areas for movement are the back areas. So in this area, the human body during movement is expanding, and it's a little bit depending on the physique of the wearer, but up to 40%. And up to 40% means that you have to have here a lot of stretch. So 2% of elastane, which might provide you with 10% of elasticity, wouldn't do the job. And also, if I would make the whole pants out of a stretchy fabric, my pockets would dangle around if I'm moving. My knee section would not be in the right position if I would be kneeling down and I want to have a knee protection. So there is no other way than to have a combination between a stretchy, and that means a super stretchy fabric, and a non-stretchy fabric. And this is what you see here. Lots of stretch in the back area, no stretch in areas where you have components which you don't want to move around while you're moving. Why did we use, or why did we choose this specific fabric? Before choosing this stretch fabric, we were conducting quite a research about stretch materials, and at the end there was just one company sticking out that is really doing great stretch materials, and that is Schoeller of Switzerland. So this stretch fabric, it's called a Schoeller dynamic material from Schoeller, Switzerland, and of course Switzerland stands for quality. This is probably the most reliable stretch fabric that you can currently find on the market. So these were the materials. Now let's have a closer look at the functional elements and some reinforcement components. So the reinforcement you have here at the instep, made of the Ripstop fabric. Moving up, you have the knee section, and the knee section has a zipper for a pocket which is meant for taking the knee protectors. Check out the 3D knee protectors in another product spotlight. It's one of them. So you can insert them here, and behind you have a mesh fabric which gives you a great air circulation during each step that you're making. The side pocket is really very classic, a very classic design, which means you have a flap. The flap is held together with a Velcro, but then you have an additional opening to the side compartment. It's here. So a vertical opening, which is really pretty handy when you're sitting in the car and your telephone rings and you want to get quickly towards it, and it's maybe a little smaller car. So this is how you could immediately grab your telephone. Inside that big cargo compartment, that big cargo pocket, there is smaller compartments. I don't know if you can see them from here. So you see here the compartment. They're also made out of a stretch fabric. Now why is that? Let me grab a telephone and put it in. Before, in the first generation, these compartments were not made out of stretch, and it was pretty difficult from in a sitting position to get that telephone out because they were non-stretchy. Now with the stretch incorporated, it's of course when the pens are lying here and no leg is inside, it's of course more difficult, but it's pretty easy to get the telephone out when you're sitting. Two compartments in here, so two telephones or a telephone and a magazine or whatever. Let's move up. Normal standard hand pockets. You have a D-ring here, like we had it in the first generation, only that the second generation, the D-ring is now made of a flexible plastic. So that means that is really unbreakable. Flip that around because I want to show you also the safety pocket. So side pocket, upper hand side pocket with a safety pocket here. Good for keeping keys, some reserve or spare money. Moving up, the waist. Waist holds a couple of interesting and very functional elements. We start from the front. The closure, waist closure, is a press button and a second retention here. It's a hook. So you're absolutely safe here that this doesn't open while you're doing important things. As we have it open already, here the zipper fly with two sliders. One recommendation here. There's a lot of guys who get their first UF Pro pants and they complain that the fly is a little bit short. The fly is constructed around the very specific cut that these pants have. That very specific cut is necessary for providing this, I would say, unbeaten wear comfort, movability that you have in all of the UF Pro pants. To make that specific cut, unfortunately, this section here is smaller like in traditionally made pants. This is also why we have two zipper sliders, because at the end the fly is shorter because this section is shorter, so also the fly is shorter. And if you have to go, take a leak, we recommend open the lower and slide it up. Of course, in the beginning, you have to get used to it. You have to get some muscle memory, some movement memory into yourself, so that you would always then, when you have to do that thing, start with the lower slider, not like you're used to with the upper slider. Not like this, because like this, you're losing here another valuable 2.5 centimeters. So, the lower one. Belt loops, we have double belt loops. The first one for the underbelt, the second one for the duty belt, and you can open and close them so that you don't have to take all your equipment down from your duty belt. Keep it on there and just position them so that they are in between the belt loops. We have 5 belt loops all around, and both of them hold 5 centimeter wide belts. Moving to the sides, you have elastic incorporated into the sides. Going to the back, this little silicone lid is to avoid that your t-shirt slides out of your pants too easily. And then there is something which is really very special, and not only about the classic pants, but for all our pants, and that is the option that you can zip into your pants a windstopper liner, which gives you a very, very nice additional comfort edge, especially if you're standing the whole day on a let's say on a windy, moist autumn day on the range. as an instructor, standing there, always static, you're really happy to have this windstopper liner inside your pants. And it's actually very easy to put it inside. Just have to put both legs inside. By the way, this is the part which faces towards the outside, and the fluffy part, of course, to the inside. Get in here, zip it in, all around. That's it. Good to go for a very cold day. If it's too warm, then simply open the zippers here. They're always a very welcome additional ventilation opening in your pants. On the back, like I described already before, very visible, you have Schoeller Dynamics stretch fabric here. On the upper end, the back pocket with flap on hook and loop. So let's summarize that. Materials first, 220 grams Ripstop fabric combined with Schoeller Dynamics stretch in the back area. Functional elements, moving from the bottom to the top. Width adjustment on the lower leg, pocket for the knee protectors with a zipper, side pockets with a vertical and a horizontal access, the vertical access on zipper, horizontal access on a classic hook and loop with a flap closure system. Upper side pockets have one safety pocket. Moving up to the waist. The waist has an incorporated elastic. We have double belt loops. The closure of the waist is with a press button and a hook. Fly, two zipper sliders, of course. Moving around, you have a D-ring, which is a plastic D-ring. Back of the pants have a retention system so that the shirt will not slide out. And on the back we have two back pockets, also with flap closures, which are on hook and loop. I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks very much. Check in the next time and I see you then.